Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Gerald here with your weather forecast. Hope we all had a wonderful Easter weekend out there, and hopefully we're having a good start to this new work week as we kind of get through Monday now, and we're going into Tuesday now, which is already on the horizon. So, time flies when you're having fun, and time also flies when you have super nice weather like we do right now. And I'll tell you, I think that's going to stick around for the next couple of days, at least through much of the eastern half of the country, before once again we kind of get back into a little bit of rain going into the end of this work week, which really has been the trend recently. It seems like Friday, for some reason, is just the rainy day that has been chosen for the spring so far. So hopefully that pattern changes soon, but unfortunately it looks like we do have a bit more rain on the way this Friday. One thing I will also add now is because of just kind of how, I don't want to say boring, but how quiet the weather is right now, this video and likely the next couple are going to be pretty short just because there's really not all that much to talk about. And, I don't want to sit here and ramble on too long about nothing. So these videos should be kind of short over the next couple of days. Just wanted to put that out here in the front half of the video. It's not because I'm trying less or anything like that. It's just the weather doesn't have nearly as much content to cover. So we'll kind of take advantage of that quiet spell and make these videos a little bit shorter over the next couple of days. Looking at the hazards out there, again, pretty all quiet here across really just about the entire lower 48, although a bit more active out here towards the Rockies. But east of the Rockies, really nothing except for some river flood warnings from some of that leftover rain that is still in those creeks and streams from later last week, and some red flag warnings out here into the plains. But other than that, it is all quiet east of the Rocky Mountains, and you can see that even on satellite here where we have clear weather really from Maine as far south as Birmingham, just with these really nice blue clear skies overtaking much of the eastern half of the country. One thing to note on this map is we do have a front left over here from this weekend that has now finally sagged down into the Gulf of Mexico, and that could spin up some low pressure later this week that tries to work its way back into the southeast and bring some of those rain chances back with it, but I don't see anything too crazy with that as of right now. So moving this ahead into time, again right now we've had a really nice day in the east. Going into tomorrow, again this high pressure continues to dominate the pattern here, helping to keep things relatively average in terms of temperatures, but very clear as well. So that will be super nice. And then as we go kind of through the next couple of days, this front is going to continue to stay kind of stalled out here over the Gulf Coast. So places like Mobile, Alabama, Baton Rouge, down towards New Orleans, Houston over towards Tampa, those places will likely be a lot more cloudy than places up here into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, just because this front is going to continue to stay in that area. So while New Orleans, a place like that, may not have the best week ahead, places up towards Nashville, Charlotte, up through the mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and Midwest will have really nice weather throughout just about all of this week. One thing you will notice, though, as we go later into the week, that low pressure that develops down here on the Gulf Coast does try to sneak its way back inland. So this is Thursday afternoon, and you can tell this high pressure begins to weaken a bit, and with that, that allows some of this moisture to try to creep its way back into sections of the southeast. And I don't think this is going to be super widespread. I think this is going to be kind of scattered in nature. But Thursday afternoon, we do increase that precipitation chance back into sections of the southeast. But really, I think Friday would be more of a widespread day for those chances of rain to return with that leftover low pressure here in the southeast. And also what looks to finally be our next storm system going into later this week into the weekend. So again, we'll have really nice weather from now really through Thursday for just about everyone, excluding a couple places here into the southeast. But as we get into Friday, rain looks to return to the southeast, and then we get another big-time storm system to move on through during the weekend time period. And right now, there's still a lot of question marks about this, but it doesn't look to be too crazy in terms of severe weather and precipitation. As you can tell here, this low pressure is so far north on the model runs that it really won't be able to tap into too much Gulf of Mexico moisture, therefore limiting the severe weather chances and precipitation chances overall, before then going again into next week and we get another shot of cold air, much like we did this past weekend, and clear skies again going into early next week, at least is the thinking right now, although of course that is a week out, so we'll watch the trends on that. Taking a look at temperatures, though, again, today has been relatively below average for sections of the southeast, but I think we begin to moderate and get back towards normal over the next couple of days. This is Tuesday afternoon, and you can tell these warmer than average temperatures slowly fighting their way south here to try to kind of overtake some of these colder than average temperatures. But really just a pretty average week for much of the southeast in terms of temperatures, with more above average temperatures through much of the northeast, mid-Atlantic, and Midwest. before finally that cold front, that next storm system I've been talking about, sweeps on through this weekend. And you can see behind that we do get some more cold air ushered in behind that, going through this weekend and into early next week whenever we get another shot of that below average weather to start next week, it looks like. But again, by the time we get to next week, we're in the middle of April. So below average temperatures does not mean you need to worry about your crops freezing necessarily here in the southeast. But it does mean you might want to bring a sweater for the morning before it kind of warms up again into the afternoon, as we've kind of seen really today for a lot of folks. So looking even further range, after that cold front sweeps through, again, that cold air looks to work its way back into the forecast here east of the Mississippi. And with that, the chance of maybe some increased precipitation chances here across the East Coast, but these percent chances are relatively low, so still a lot of question marks on how much precipitation we're going to see here in kind of the long-range pattern from 6 to 10 days, but I do feel pretty confident we will get back to kind of below average to average weather for much of the East, especially kind of in between the Mississippi River and the Appalachian Mountain chain through that area. Couple more question marks along the East Coast, but either way, nothing super out of the ordinary for April standards, not even really any kind of big time severe weather outbreaks on the horizon, at least over the next 7 days or so. So that is always good to see, and that is very welcome for many of us here across the East who are probably pretty sick and tired of all the severe weather we have seen over these past couple of weeks. So now that we're here kind of at the end of the video, I did want to say again, thank you for kind of coming back if you came back today, because I know I missed the past couple of days, but I thought it was super nice to kind of be home and just be with family and not have to worry about doing anything other than just spending time with family and friends. So again, I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and understanding that I am also human, just like many of you, or I guess all of you, I should say. With that said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.